Welcome to our first episode of Sports Business Lab. We're really happy. I'm really happy to get things started. And for our first episode, we actually have a very, very special guest. But first of all, hey Amit, how are you doing?
Hey Rafa, good. Delighted to be here and delighted to have our special guest here, Maria. Uh, Very warm welcome to you, Maria, and happy to have you as our opening batter.
No pressure. Thank you so much for having me. It's going to be
I-
great.
Let me add a little bit of pressure to you.
Oof.
You know, Rafa is a tennis player, right?
Oh, I didn't know.
Ah, he is, and he serves at about 150 kilometers per hour. And I have come from the cricketing world and I bowl these outswingers. And are you ready to navigate these deliveries that we hurl at you?
I mean, I hope so. I play some tennis, but I can't serve that fast for sure.
I can't either. Yeah.
Wonderful. So great to have you here, and we look forward to understanding a lot more about you, about what you do, about the business of sport. So let's begin at the very start. Okay. Can you tell us, instead of me introducing you, I think you will do a better job than me. So can you tell us everything about where you are from, about what study you have done, and what you do currently in sports? I think that's we can maybe get to know a little more about you.
Sure, sounds good. So, my name is Maria, and I am 25 years old, almost 26. And I'm from Lisbon, Portugal. I grew up seeing the ocean every day through my window, so now that I'm here in Madrid, it's a bit tough. You don't see the sea, but always fun. Then I actually stayed there until I was 18 when I moved to the UK to do my bachelor in international management. And then the pandemic hit. And then I moved back to Portugal, where I ended up doing a master's in management because I'm very creative, as you can see. Like, I did the same thing twice. And then I worked in consulting for about 2 years. And I mean, I liked it, but it was not it. And then I kind of heard about this program here in Madrid it's a mix between Real Madrid and the Universidad Europea, and it's an MBA in sports management. And I took the leap. I joined. I did my internship at Real Madrid Club Football in the sponsorship department, and now I'm working at Sporty Group, which is a mixture of a sports betting media corporation. We have studios, we have a TV channel, and it's just a lot of fun. I started there as a sponsorship executive, actually, and it's a bit different from what I did at Real because it was just like it's the other side of the coin, let's say. But it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I think that's pretty much sums it up. I think.
Fascinating, fascinating. I think you've given us a lot of leads to pick up from and hopefully ask you a few more questions. So, very quickly, did you always want to be in sports? Have you played sports? Did you ever think that you will work in the field of sports?
That's a good question because for me, I feel like sports was like the forbidden fruit because I don't know where it came from, but I always loved playing football. And when I was about like 7 or 8, I asked my parents, "Hey, can I join a football team?" And they were like, they saw this little, very energetic kid, and they were like, "Actually, you're gonna play the piano." And I was like, "Okay, fine, let's do that." And then no football for me, but still, I remember like at school, I would just be the first in line for lunch because we had an hour lunch, and I knew if I was the first in, I would be the first out, and I could be like playing football longer if I
That's
just
amazing,
ate
yeah.
really fast.
Yeah.
And then I played tennis, like
All
Rafa. I did horse riding for a bit, and then finally at 16, I was able to play football. And like, it's something amazing because when I was in consulting and I was like, I don't know what it is. I've always liked solving problems. I've always liked to think strategically. This is my education. I love management, but there's something missing. And when they say like, if you do what you love for working, you'll never work a day in your life. I think that's how the saying goes.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some internal work, and then I was like, you know what? Like this has been with me since I can remember. Sports, just as a whole, especially football, but like all sports, I watch everything. You know what? Let's give it a go. Why not? And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Great. I mean, I think it's important to know. What is your team in Portugal?
Benfica, of
Of
course.
Great.
Biggest club in Portugal. Let's go.
Yeah, and but you mentioned like how you would play in school after eating fast and stuff. Did you go to the stadium a lot? Like, who brought you? Do you have like somebody that you would say like this is like a person or something that brought you this passion? Because I think sports is a passion, but it's also fed every day somehow. You know, like going to the stadium. I think my first time in the stadium, I'll never forget that. So, and that stays with me for the rest of my life. Yeah.
I 100% agree. I think I was about like 9 or 10.
All right.
9 when I got my first Benfica jersey. It was my
Okay.
birthday gift. Had a 9 on the back because I was turning 9, obviously.
And a striker.
And a striker. I actually play right winger, but yeah,
All right,
it's still.
yeah. Great.
And I don't know. I think it was like a mixture of a lot of people doing really small things. I never had someone like really pressuring me, like, you're either a Benfica fan, you either love football or you don't. I think it was just something that was like in me. I don't know. I fell in love with the game, and then I was lucky enough to have my dad, my granddad, my cousins who were all Benfica fans, and then when the other side of my family, my mom's side of the family, where I'm the eldest cousin, the kids started to come after me. I was like, now you're a Benfica fan.
Okay.
So like I just gave that to the others, what my other older cousins gave to me and my dad. So yeah, 100%. But it's just, I don't know. It's very difficult to pinpoint. I think that's one of the ways you know what your passion is. It's something that it's just in you.
Yeah.
You know, it's a calling. You don't know where it came from. You can try and justify it, but you don't 100% know where it came from.
It's just who
It's just
you
there,
are.
exactly.
Like, yeah, just one more as well in the because you mentioned like how you were doing the consultancy, like you were doing like all of that. Do you also see maybe like a moment that you were like, you know what, I'm gonna try? Like, was there a trigger? Was there something? I think like as people know, we also came like from different industries, and something like pushed us into that. Like, how was that moment for you? How was for you to make that decision? Because it's a big step. Like usually, like if you're in consultancy and you had your degrees, usually it's a very safe choice, right? Like to keep going at. How was it
100%.
for you, and what made you actually say I'm going to take that leap?
It took me a long time, actually. I would like to say that I was brave and I was like, let's go. First time I heard about the program, but it actually took like probably almost a year for me to make this decision because like you said, like consulting, you're there, like once you are in, you make a good salary, you know that you can get out and go anywhere you want in terms of like career-wise. And then it's like this world of, it's still under-professionalized, I think, the sports world. Like, there's still a lot of work to be done. I can say in my country, there's a lot of work to be done. And then it's just, there. And I actually remember I was, like, putting off this decision. I was, like, every day I would think about it. I would go to bed, I would lie down, and I'd be like, oh, okay, Maria, I got to make a decision. And then one of my godfathers, because I have two,
All right.
was in Lisbon. He lives in the U.S. And he was like, I'm going to take you out for dinner, and we're going to talk about it. And I was like, okay. And for 2 hours, he was just like, what are you afraid of? Like, you already have that safety that you can come back to if it doesn't work. Like,
For sure.
you got to give yourself a try. And then I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So the next day, I put forward my application, and I guess here we are now.
Great, great. Yeah, well, congratulations, because it's not an easy decision. And yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
Kudos to you. I mean, I think a lot of people listening to this podcast should also get inspired, who may be on the edge of deciding whether, they want to make a switch, something that they really believe in or love doing. But let me ask you a philosophical question.
Oof. Go on.
You said that, we should do something that we really love doing, and then we don't feel that we are doing any work as such. So playing football or watching football, being a fan of sport, how different is it from actually working in the field of sport? Like, do you get the same feeling? Do you feel that you are doing the same thing, or you're getting the same thrill?
It's a good question, actually. I've heard a lot of people say that the longer you stay in the field in the industry, the joy will slowly start to die down because you're just looking at it from a business angle. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of magic in knowing that you are giving that sensation, that thrill, that, all the feelings that you've had watching these 22 men running around the pitch with a ball, or these two men fighting for the Wimbledon trophy, that all these parts that come together for that to happen, for people to enjoy. I think there's a lot of, if you look at it through this lens, I think there's a lot of joy in it as well. And a lot of thrill, because if something goes wrong, imagine how many people are going to be watching. So, but for sure, like it's definitely a different way of enjoying it. And I will say that now that I watch sports, I'm like, oh, I didn't know Coca-Cola sponsored this. Oh, I didn't know that this is happening because of that. So it's like, it's a different
You
experience.
look at it with different eyes as well.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Studying, like I for sure, like I mean, we're in the we're doing the MBA right now, and going towards the end. But for sure, I don't watch sports the same way. Even from the brand size, the event, the broadcasting, like and everything. And when there's something that goes wrong, we're kind of like, I think now I'm not exactly in the field yet, but like knowing a lot of people, I get even like, poor them, like they're doing probably the best that they can, and then something like this happens. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it helps broaden the horizon for sure, the way you look at sports. But Maria, if you can go back a little bit to, when you made this transition and you came here to do this program at Universidad Europa Real Madrid, can you share with us what were the big takeaways for you from there? How did it help you actually, this one program, transition into the field of sports? How did you make best use of this program?
Yeah, I think that this program and a lot of it replicates really well how this industry works, in the sense that networking is everything apart from the technical skills that you gain. I would say that for me, the biggest takeaway, and I know that not everyone can say this, was definitely the internship.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was missing the word. I was thinking Becca. Three languages mixing up.
It's been a while. Right?
The internship at Real Madrid, because it, for 3-4 months, we had been learning all about how this industry works, how the clubs work, how the brands work. But then you are actually put in that situation, and you actually get to see and understand, why are they making these decisions? What is the meaning of, what's the strategy behind it? How can you take the learnings that you get from there and apply it to your life and your career next? And I think that's one of the things that I took. And now that I'm working with a company that is sponsoring Real, I get to see the other side of understanding, okay, I know that Real is doing that. We are doing this. This is how it comes together. So it gives a very wholesome picture of the whole sports industry, in this case football, because it's just their major sport. But yeah.
Yeah, of course, a lot of takeaways. But there are a lot of students, I'm sure, who are doing this program and other programs. And I remember when I was much younger and I was doing a postgraduate program, not in sports, it was in finance, a little more dull and boring. But I know that, I know for sure that I didn't make best use of it. I did not really invest the time that, one should invest when somebody is taking up a program like this, or investing so much time and resources in a program like this. So is there something you would like to tell people who are taking up a sports management program, whether they are freshers or making a transition, as to what they should, 2 or 3 things that they should really focus on apart from the classes that they are attending?
I would say be very curious. And I think I've said this to you guys as well at the start of the program, be very curious, because You are here to learn, absorb as much as you can. Really, like, make it an obsession. Like, I'm here for 10 months. Like, this is it. Let's focus as much as I can, and just be here, learn as much as I can. Really listen what the people in the industry are telling you, because they know, and then be really say yes to every opportunity that you get. It doesn't matter if you're doing a one-day event at this little, I don't know, how do you say it, petanca? I don't know if you know this sport, like event with the elderly, or if you're doing the Mutua Madrid. Doesn't matter. Say yes, because you're going to learn something from those experiences. And the more you learn, the more you can take to your other experiences. And then that's how you build. And that's how you prove to a future employer how you can bring value to this industry, which is extremely competitive. And everyone wants to be here. So why should you be the one there? It's because you know more than everyone else around you. And you have more experience, like hands-on experience, than everyone else around you. So you just got to focus.
Yeah, and talking about that, we just mentioned a bit about the internship at Real Madrid that you did, but you did other ones, right? It was not the only one. So how were they, like, how different were they? Like, if you have like a key takeaway from each, that would be great.
Definitely. So I did a one-day event with the Spartan race. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Yes.
It happened in the north of Madrid. And although it's a smaller scale event, it's still so interesting to see how they turn it into a community. That's their unique selling point. It's a community. So you can learn so much about the business by being there. And I wasn't doing much. I was giving shirts, giving medals, and giving water, I think. But I was there, and I was seeing how everything was working. We got the chance to be there a day earlier to kind of understand, see how everything was coming together as an event, blah, blah, blah. So when we were there earlier with the school, we were like, do you need volunteers for tomorrow? And they were like, hell yeah. And we were like, okay, we're going to be here at 8 a.m. tomorrow. That's it. See? Nice. Opportunities, sometimes, like, you just ask for them and they appear because they need hands. Another opportunity was a summer internship, like a 1 week in Victoria in the Basque Country, where we were doing an ITF 75 tennis tournament, women's tennis tournament. And I was doing, with my colleagues, I was doing social media. Again, I have my own social media and that's about it. But then suddenly we were posting about the match results. We were interviewing players. We were, doing challenges, creating content for social media, not only like Instagram, but also TikTok, which is kind of different from, I think the content is a bit different. So like, again, I have that one week experience that I can't call myself a social media manager, but I can call myself someone who knows how it is to be at a live event and doing social media because I did it. I think those are two good examples.
Yeah, for sure. I think, that's really fascinating. I think as long as you are there, you're curious, you're trying to learn. I recall the time I volunteered for an NFL game here in Madrid. And then for some local events in Europe. I mean, you can really see the stark difference in the way American sports operate vis-a-vis the European sports operates. The commercialization, the activations are so different. And you learn all that when you are there. And we were there only for a day as a volunteer. And one may think that as a volunteer, what would you really pick up? But if you're observant, you can really learn a lot, absorb a lot, and try and bring about those changes when you actually move into the industry. So I totally second to what you said. You need to be curious and always say yes to everything. And you did say yes to the first podcast.
Here I am. And that's something that you need to take, I think, throughout your life, because the best things come when you least expect them. And it's usually because you put yourself out there.
Did you say you were 25?
I am 25, yeah.
I mean, you're talking like, a super intelligent mature person. So it's
I've
amazing. I mean, this is
No, I've lived
gold.
many lives. No, I'm joking. No, thanks. It's just I've uh, I've had a lot of exposure to different cultures and different people, so I am what the people that I've been exposed to are, I guess, just a mixture of everything. So, yeah.
So since you graduated from Real Madrid, you've been what, like 8 months into the industry now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as I understand, you had like also a bit of some different roles. And I don't know how is the feeling now? Like also looking back from when you started, from what maybe your expectations, even in the beginning of the masters and of the MBA. Usually we have like this vision of like, I want to be this, or people even ask all the time, okay, you're doing MBA in sports management. I heard that like from an aunt, like, are you gonna be a coach? I'm like, no, it's on the business side. But anyway, jokes apart, like from when you started, what do you envision and how do you see like today?
I saw it as a brave new world, let's say it like this. And now it's a bit more demystified.
All right.
Now it's decisions make more sense, and sometimes, like I will say, sometimes I see my club or other clubs do stuff that previously I would have been like, "What are you doing? This is insane!" But now I understand the business side of it, and I fully support that. You need the business side if you want to have sporting success as well. So like that was something that I couldn't see before. But I actually I wished that I wasn't always looking so far ahead. I wish I had
Okay.
taken each day a
Step
little
by
bit,
step.
yeah, step by step, and like really enjoy, because I feel like when you make this change and it's so uncertain and you're just like, I need to get a job after this. I need to get into the industry because it's so competitive. And I know that like if I wait too long, then the new batch is coming in, and they just got out, and they know everything better than you. It's more like fresh in their minds. But I know it's difficult to. I know I can say it now because I'm here, but when I was there, I was just so stressed about making it, and that I kind of wish I had enjoyed it a little bit more, the ride. Um, but in the end, I guess the sports industry is a bit like all industries, where you have the really weird ways of doing things and a bit of, I think, because it's such an emotional industry, you have to take an extra care of things, because I think that all the other industries would kill to have the emotional connection that
Yeah,
sports
for
industry
sure.
has. You know, like I will change my toothpaste brand. I will not change my club ever in my life. You know, so I think we have an ethical responsibility with supporters and fans, and coming back to what I said about the business side, supporting the sporting side, I think also you need to always take the business decisions considering who's on the other side and how much of an impact it has on the people's lives. So that's something that I also learned from being in the sports industry. And sometimes it's a difficult balance to make, because you know that you have to take some decisions that fans will not enjoy, but there are others that you can do things the other way around, where it's not so heavy on them. So I don't think that other industries have to think like this.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think like also going a bit into this like uniqueness of the sports industry, talking maybe a bit more of the sponsorships, because um, as we're, like the toothpaste, like not necessarily they're gonna have sponsors. So I think it's a very uniqueness of the sport industry that even like the greatest brands like Real Madrid and any club today, sponsorship is a really important line of revenue for them. Um, so when you worked not only in Real Madrid but also now at Sporty, how even like this process would work? Because like, are we looking for brands that are we looking for the values? Are you looking for like the sponsorship as an investment? How usually that process work? Are there brands that you, as Real would say, oh well, it doesn't have to name the brand, but like maybe not that direction. So how does that work? Because in the end of the day, the sponsor is not only a sponsor; it's not just somebody who's going to give you money, but it's also a lot of money in many cases. And how does this relationship also go?
I think, as always, and with everything, it's a matter of a balance. I don't know if you saw this picture of a football shirt that had so many sponsors on it and like on the shorts, and it was just that's
In
not it.
Brazil, it happens a lot, like a
But
lot.
but that's not it.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that there are some clubs or some teams that do need that money to survive. I understand that, especially in the way the competitions around the world, except for the U.S. and I think also Mexico and Canada, where they have the closed competitions, where if you go down, it's financial ruin almost. Um, but there's also a need for a balance. Like you need to take care of the image not only of your brand but also of the club. Something that I learned at Real Madrid is that although they are probably, I think it's a fair fact to say, the biggest and the best team historically, football team in the world, um, they don't. The idea is not to brand themselves as winners because results can change, for example. So you gotta find what sets you apart. For Betis, for example, is usually doing very, I think, socially like aware things. So, for example, I think they did something with water.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There's a lot of sustainability.
A lot of
that they do
sustainability.
there, yeah.
So that's
The
their
shirt.
unique selling point. For Real Madrid, it's just their aura. Their no one is above the club. The club is everything. For Barca, maybe they have a bit more of a. We are
More than a club.
trailblazers. We're more than a club. We set the way everyone speaks. So like if you look at their sponsorships, for example, they do something very, very unique with Spotify. See,
Yeah.
they keep changing it, and then they sell those jerseys with the different. I think Ed
artists,
Sheeran.
Yeah, sure.
Was it Rihanna? I don't know, but so many artists. All that came from one sponsorship, but it's also because of the values that club has. So yes, going back to your question, the way you put it, values is super important, and I think that sometimes it's better to not enter a sponsorship or a partnership, as we would say nowadays. I think it's turning more from a sponsorship
Yeah.
to a partnership. It's better to not enter it if you don't have the alignment in values, because it won't make sense for those who are consuming it. It's like,
Yeah.
if Betty's join, I don't know, with Shell now, it would be like, what?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's a lot there that you can dissect. I think it can be a 2-hour conversation on that.
Yeah. All right.
It's amazing. I think, one would think that a property, a asset like Real Madrid or Betis or Barcelona would really focus on the game and getting the best players, getting the best infrastructure. And it's the brands who would actually look at, creating some positioning for themselves. But the way you explained, it seems like even the clubs, they also position themselves.
100%.
Like Real Madrid will position themselves in a certain way, like you said, and that is how they would attract a certain sponsor. So, for an asset also or a property, it is very important to decide how they are going to position themselves and what kind of brands then they are going to attract. So,
100%.
yeah, that's
I
a
agree. Yeah.
fascinating point. Yeah. So now you have seen both the sides, right? You have seen the property side little bit with Real Madrid, and now the client side with Sporty. So, how does the perspective change? How does a asset think, and how does a brand think when they are, trying to get into a sponsorship? What is the thought process?
I think that the biggest thing that a club can do to convince a brand to go for them is to show what they can bring to the brand. Because sponsorships now are not about, oh, I am a Benfica fan, so I'm going to sign a sponsorship with Benfica. No, I am a Benfica fan. Sure, I would love to have a box at the stadium, but if I'm a head of a company, if I'm, I don't know, managing, let's say, Colgate, because Colgate's not anyway, I'm not going to enter a partnership because I like Benfica. I'm going to enter a partnership because I want to see what Benfica or Sporting or Porto or Real Madrid or Barcelona can give back to me in terms of a brand. How many impressions? What can I do with them? How many adverts? Can I make use of their players? Can I make use of their image? How? How many fans do they have that I can send an email, I don't know, every year with a promotion, So that's on the brand side. And then that's how I think that the team, club should focus, the sports entity. But then the sports entity also needs to protect their brand. It's that thing that I was telling you about, too many sponsorships. They need to go and they need to make sure that once you sign the sponsorship agreement or the partnership agreement, you make sure that your brand is not being used for stuff that wasn't agreed. You need to make sure that you're protecting your players, your IP, the contract itself. So, again, a balance and a lot of negotiation comes into play. But I would say to clubs and tournaments and leagues, to retain a brand, the best thing is to not only show what you did in the contract, but show what extra value you added that the others can't add. Yeah. Because, again, that's what sets you apart, And it's much, again, this happens in human resources, this happens in contracts with retailers, this happens everywhere. It's much easier and cost-effective to maintain a brand and a specific partnership than to go ahead and change. And so I think that that clubs should always try to renegotiate first, and only go for another one if there's actually a lot more money involved. Because then people tend to associate that specific brand to the club as well.
For sure.
So I don't know if this answers the question, but it's a difficult one.
No, I think it's brilliant. I think the way you explained the perspective, I think it's really, it gives a clear idea of the importance of for the brand and as well as for the asset also to position themselves and get into a long-term association so that they can start deriving benefits and giving that extra bit to the partnership for sure.
Yeah, and you also mentioned about the new partnerships. A club sometimes has to change for any reason. I don't know if you had anybody that during Real Madrid your internship, or that it was a new, but if somebody a brand or a company, they want to enter the sports sponsorship or partnership world, would you have any tips, or what are the biggest challenges of entering this new world?
Probably, and this is from my own, this is not theory or anything, it's just me thinking. Nowadays, sponsorships are not about visibility only, they're about experience. And if you're going to enter the sports world, you need to do it through a brand that's well aligned with your values, but also that helps you meet your objectives. But also, you need to make sure that you're creating an experience through that for your consumers, users, clients, basically. Because at the end of the day, it's cool to make adverts. It's cool to have the LED boards around the stadium. But I feel like consumers right now are expecting something a bit different from brands. And they are expecting more. And this more, I think it's through the experience. It's through something that they can tell later on to their kids. I'll give you an example that worked on me, and now I can see that it worked. But at the time, I was like, what a cool book. So I read this book called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the CEO of Nike. Like, he created Nike. And, like, I was reading it because I wanted to understand the business. But after I finished that book, I never bought anything other than Nike. And my team, Benfica, has been sponsored by Adidas for a long time. So when I tell people I prefer Nike rather than Adidas, they're like, you? And I'm like, yeah, me. Because I had the experience. I know it wasn't a sponsorship, but it works like this. I had the experience that made me invested in the brand. I don't have that with the other brands. I don't. So that's, I think, what brands can really do through sports. Because you have the narrative. You have the underdog or the one chasing the glory. You have the, like the unexpected winner and the loser who no one was expecting as well. Like, you have so many ways to do this. And it all comes down to the experience you want to create for your clients. So I think that's probably the biggest tip that I can give to someone trying to enter the sports world as a partner or a sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on the Nike story, there's also the movie Air when they
Exactly.
when they sponsor Jordan, they just go completely all in. They reshape the sponsorship to athletes, and also even like the role of the colors of the shoe for the NBA, they just completely go past it. So, yeah, I mean, I think even that story creates more. Like people relate to it, like even more.
100%.
So yeah, nice, great.
I think that's what differentiates partnerships with traditional advertising, right? That's just brand awareness, and this is where you get a chance to create a narrative. But then thinking of this, I'm sure, within the marketing departments of brands, there has to be a very strong team which would be able to come up with these stories and think of these stories and bring this partnership to life. So can you tell us how this particular department is different from, a normal sponsorship department which would make an investment, but then activation is something totally different. So are these teams really big? What are the kind of expertise that somebody needs? Do they need to be creative? Any qualification they need to be able to, be in that department? And I'm sure some of us may be aware, but is there a thumb rule of, say, if you're spending, say, $100 on sponsorship, you would spend $100 on activation, or is it 1:1, 1:2, or how does that work?
I think you can create a lot of cool things without spending too much money, which is surprising, I know, but it really depends on the way you do things. I know this is a bit vague, but it's the way I can explain. I think from company to company, these departments will change and vary in dimension. I would say activation is a lot of people skills, is a lot of negotiation as well. I think that sometimes people think that in the prospecting phase is where you have to do all the negotiation, but actually in activation, a lot of it comes into play as well. Oh, can I maybe use this and we'll make it like this? Maybe it's not explicitly written on the contract, but I just had this idea. Could we maybe do it like this? Okay, we'll check. Okay, we can do it. And then I would say a lot of, I don't want to say empathy, but empathy. Because you kind of have to put yourself in the shoes of your clients and kind of understand where do they see the value of choosing this brand and how can I give that value like an extra boost through this activation, okay? And sometimes the activation is like a simple giving out flyers in the street with a code. And in that flyer, you have the club's IP, just to show that you are aligned with that club, that your image and your brand and your values are aligned, which sometimes goes a long way. Other times, it's creating like this event where they can come and they can, dance, meet a player, meet a former player, speak to someone important that, whatever it is, you just got to make sure that there's some type of value, because then the question comes, why should we go? Why should we attend your activation? Sometimes activations can be just very visual, very just about visibility, so you don't even actually get something in return. But what you get is, or the users don't get something in return, what you get is a lot of talk on social media, a lot of buzz, and then that translates into media power, and then that translates into possibly better standing of your company, of your brand, whatever. So there's a lot of different ways of doing it, and overall is just a mixture of a lot of these qualities that I highlighted, and then understanding the really, like, the point of it all, you know? Because at the end, if you're going to try and make like, if I were to try and do an activation on ballet, couldn't do it. Call my sister. I can't do it. But, like, if we go to a sport or to something that I understand, then I can bring more value. So, again, immerse yourself in what you're doing and learn as much as you can, so that you can also, like, that also fosters creativity and you can bring more to the table.
Yeah. You're already playing very well on the forehand. I think now we should change the gears to backhand. Unless Rafa has some questions on sponsorship, maybe we can.
Yeah, no, I mean, just maybe to then close it all, like you mentioned, like how the activations, they are like an ongoing negotiation. So how is it, like, the management of, like, these partnerships and sponsorships? Because I think it would depend. Like, this is my point of view. There are some brands that I think, like, we look as they activate a lot with the club. There are brands that, like, maybe they're, like, also lower tier of partners that they don't necessarily activate as much. Actually, one example, I loved the Emirates activation with Benfica. That one was, like, even emotional.
The follow the pilot, or no?
No, I think it was, they were like the stewardess, like they were on the pitch, on the pitch,
that one.
and they were like, yeah. Who hasn't seen it? Like, go see. It's really nice. So yeah, like how is that? Like, is it? I don't know. Is it harder to do the negotiations, or is it even later? How do you see those differences?
I think it's of the best interest of both the brand and the sports entity to activate as much as possible, because then you get your money worth if you're the brand, and the sports entity can prove that this was a good investment. Yeah. Simple as that. So sometimes I feel like the activation team of a marketing department, for example, sometimes is more of the glue and the communication channel between the brand, so the other departments, and the clubs. So that's how I felt during a long time. So sometimes the negotiation actually happens with my company, with my colleagues, because I'm trying to explain to them, we can't do this, but maybe we can do this instead. Okay, so there's a lot of back and forth for both sides. But to come back to your question, I think that if the clubs see the value in what you're trying to do in terms of the activation, they'll be the first ones to push for it. You know, if you're not, I mean, they're not, at least the IPs that I've worked with, the leagues and clubs that we've worked with, they are not ones to be like, oh no, that's going to be too much work. No, they're like, yeah, let's do it. You know, nice. If we're not infringing on anything that's like a part of the contract, away from the contract, not a part of, then they're like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So it's really, again, it's in the best interest of both to do as much as you can. So to the brands that are not doing much and are still like investing in sports entities, maybe change your approach, I would say. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, one more question on sponsorship. As you were talking, I could think of this additional thing. So, for example, you know, there may be various brands sponsoring a particular event, and there may be more than one brand wanting to activate at a particular event. So, how does a asset or a property decide that, you know, for this particular game, this brand will get precedence to activate, and then, you know, the other brand may get to activate some other time. So how does that logic work?
That's usually written in the contracts. And that's usually an asset that you either pay or you don't pay for. What you can do instead of actually activating at the event is you can create your own event in partnership with the sports entity. So that's a way to go around it, if they're okay with it, obviously. Because you get use of the IP, so you can do that. But usually that's decided, in my understanding, based on the importance of each sponsorship, because obviously you have tiers.
Yeah.
So if you're a name sponsor, you're going to get priority over the LED board sponsor. But usually that's how it's done.
True. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we spoke a bit about sponsorship, but there are so many other areas in sport, right, that somebody can work in. From my knowledge, I can think of event management, venue management, of course, sponsorships, IP creation. You could create IPs. What are the other areas within the sports industry that are opening up or are interesting where people can, look at developing their skills and get into?
I would say ticketing. And this is a tough one because we just saw what happened at the upcoming World Cup with dynamic pricing. So some things will work for certain fan bases. Same things won't work for others. I would say there's also the development of other businesses related to the team. So, for example, if I'm not mistaken, I think Baskonia, basketball, are in Alaves, I think.
They are the same group.
Exactly.
Alaves
Correct.
and Baskonia.
Sometimes I mix up some clubs, but sorry.
Yeah, from Victoria.
Exactly. They are building a university now.
Ah, yeah, true.
So that's an example. So, and I am sure if like one of the biggest clubs decided to invest in hotels, they could do it.
Cristiano has as well, right?
Cristiano has it, and he's a sports entity.
Yeah.
As of now. We don't know in the next years, but he is. So exactly. So, but that's yeah. So diversifying portfolio. So, sorry to mention Benfica again. I know I'm a fangirl, but it's the one that I'm like most exposed to because I love it. But they just presented a new proposal of the for the new stadium and the new campus around the stadium, and they've included a shopping mall, residencies, a hotel. I think I'm not sure, but I think so. Actual apartments. I think Man United is doing something similar. They're also investing in real estate around the stadium. So all of these things that are opening up because sports are so big and so like we have more sports than we ever had. So there's so many areas to explore, so many areas that you would usually associate with other types of sectors and industries that you can now bring to sports, and you can create value there. So to answer your question, and I'll add media broadcast.
Yeah, of course. Can't forget that one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. I mean, I think going to that, I mean, like there's many different businesses that are opening up, but maybe we can try and understand a bit more of the ticketing. Like this was the first one that you said, and we see like what's happening to the World Cup this year. I actually attended last year the Club World Cup. That was kind of like a test event in the US. Same venues, fewer but same venues. But like, what do you see about ticketing? I think like when a lot of people also come to the industry or like, I'm going to do an MBA or I want to work in sports, ticketing is usually probably not the most fascinating subject as a start. But how do you see this and why do you see like a big opportunity in this field?
Exactly, because it's not interesting as of the start or as interesting. It doesn't have a lot of light shining on it, but I think that there's exactly a lot of glamour. But there's so many cool things that you can do with ticketing, so much strategy that goes behind it, that in the end, I think there's a lot to be done there. I am no expert. Again, my focus is brand sponsorship, a bit of media, but I think it's interesting because it's something that people don't usually pay attention to, but it's so important. It's so basic. It's so there, you know. But it's fun, I think. I think it really depends on what you like, but I think it's fun. I would do it one day.
Yeah, I think there are opportunities everywhere. You need to just look around, be curious, like you keep on saying, and
Yeah.
identify those opportunities. There's value to be added, there's money to be created almost everywhere. Yeah, I think if I can go back to that question at the beginning, when you said, that you chose and made a switch to come back to sports. What do you think about it now, having spent few months in the industry, close to a year, and then of course having invested in a program? Would thinking of it today, going back, would you take that same decision now?
I would.
You would?
I would. And sometimes I think, oh, I could have used that money to like invest in my first house or to put in stocks. But then I'm like, the value that I got from taking that leap and actually doing something to get me closer to achieving my goal was the biggest investment that I could have made at the age that I'm at. And I think that you as well, you're not the same age as me. I'm not sure how old you are, but I would say 21.
Thank you very much. No.
But yeah, so like I think that all of us here understand that this is something that you like. If you go for it, you have to put everything, every little thing of your self-being has to be in it, because otherwise it was not worth it. And I would have done it again because I know I did the most I could have with the resources I had. The only thing is I would have enjoyed it a bit more. That's it.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, yeah, we also talking about this, like looking back, and I also asked something similar, like about the expectations before and like after that. But what was your crazy dream, let's say, when you were like, I'm gonna do sports? I can even say mine in a way. Like I was like, I'm gonna be a tournament director of Wimbledon. But
Will you
what
get
was
me
yours?
tickets?
I will. So anyway, it's so difficult to get tickets there. But
It's
anyway,
awful.
yeah. What was yours?
Mine was and still is becoming Benfica's president.
It's amazing.
However, I know it's a long shot because I'm a girl, and I know that this still plays a role. Because the socios are the ones who decide who the next president is going to be. So that I know that if I am equally qualified as the guy running against me, he's going to be chosen. So I know I have to be so many steps ahead. And that's why I am working today. I'm working towards that, to being the best option by far that can be on that ballot. And then I'll go to bed knowing that if I don't win, I did the best that I could have, you know? And then I can focus on something else. But that is my end goal.
I mean, that's amazing. And I know how not only difficult it is, but also, there's still a lot of sexism around football. And but I think I also mentioned to you before, but my team is Palmeiras, and we do have a woman who's been president. My personal opinion, she's been doing great, but she was even a sponsor before of the club, and then she becomes the president. I think there's still a lot to be done to reach that. Like not only your goal, but like so much in female sports, and maybe like asking about that. Like, have you worked more or anything like with the female sports? How do you see that? How do you see the development in the past years and now being in the industry? Like, how do you see that?
That's a cool question, because when I was doing my master's degree in Lisbon, I did my thesis on developing a plan, a strategic plan for the growth of Sport Lisboa and Benfica women's team. So it was probably one of the best projects that I've ever been a part of. And that kind of gave me at the time, I was like, but I like doing that so much. Why can't I like consulting as much? Because that's consulting, right? SaaS consultancy. But it was just amazing. And then seeing some of the suggestions that we made at the end of that work be put into action and actually show fruition was probably one of the biggest, most amazing experiences of my life. Because I know I used to play football, so I know what it's like to be on the end of the girls' game. It's not as pretty, it's not as glamorous, but I do think that there's a lot of space for growth, and it's about taking the opportunity. And I think that brands could really, 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 really take on this opportunity whilst the growth is happening so fast at the moment. But yeah, best project ever.
Nice. Well, congrats. I'm pretty sure
Thank
it was
you.
a huge challenge. And
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, I think women's sport is growing, and like you said, it's a golden opportunity for brands, and I think brands are realizing it. They are realizing, and it's a different clientele. I think it's more family-based audience which is now attending this sport. So that creates a new window of opportunity for the brands. So yeah, all the best to you. I'm sure it will translate into perception about women getting into administration of sport and heading sports, and hopefully we'll get to see you at your desired position in the near future.
Hope so.
Maybe we can do a bit of rapid fire if you are
Okay, let's
ready.
go. I am so ready.
Okay, Portugal or Spain?
Portugal. Sorry, I love Spain, but like, come on.
It could be even like, because you were in the UK, right? So,
Yeah.
how is it like UK or Spain? Like, so it's not your home country.
Let's do Spain.
All right, Spain. Great.
Okay, Adidas or Adidas?
Come on.
I'm not giving you that option.
Oh, I guess Adidas then.
All right. Who is like your favorite athlete, past or present?
It's gotta be either Eusebio
All right.
or Roger Federer.
Ah, nice. Okay.
If you had to play a sport professionally, which sport would you have loved to play? Apart from football.
I would not have liked to play football
okay.
professionally.
Okay.
No, I think I would be. That's another conversation. I think I would do tennis.
Oh, okay.
Tennis, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. If you would describe the sport industry in one word, what would it be?
Exciting.
Oh, wow.
We second
That's
that.
great. Yeah, very good.
Okay, you said tennis, okay? So, Alcaraz or Nadal? Or both?
I'm gonna say Alcaraz.
Alcaraz?
Yeah.
Alcaraz?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, Roger Federer and Nadal, like, they were
Yeah,
always fighting
I
each
mean-
other. But if you ask me, Sinner or Alcaraz, I'll say Sinner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Well, I'm in there. And since you also mentioned Eusebio, but I'm gonna say like another two Portuguese figures, like Ronaldo or Mourinho.
You can't ask me that. You can't ask me that. I will say Ronaldo, because I'm also a Man United fan.
Okay.
And I know that Mourinho coached Man United, but he also coached Porto when they won the Champions League. And I know that he's coaching Benfica now, but we're not winning, so I gotta say Ronaldo.
How is that? How is that? I mean, we talked a lot about the sports, the passion, like that is very unique, right? Like than other industries. How is it like for you as a Benfica fan, like Mourinho having so much history in a rival, and seeing him now, with a Benfica shirt, like how is the feeling? How is it perceived as well?
I think that it's more annoying for Porto fans to have him as a Benfica coach now, because the truth is that he started at Benfica.
Ah, yeah, true.
He only got like 2 or 3 months, and then he was sent away. So it's more like he's one of the best coaches ever. So it's like I feel like there's a sense of pride in having him as our manager at the moment. However, because the results are not coming, it's a bit of a weird one. at the moment. But I don't think there's that much of an issue with him having coached Porto in the past, I think. I think it's
All right.
fine.
I think one last thing, we would like to flip the roles, and if you have any question for us,
Ooh,
you can ask us a question.
okay. I know what your ultimate goals are. What do you think is the path towards those goals? How do you achieve it?
I can start maybe. I think also like coming from a very different industry and a lot of the things that and also taking back, as you said, like you took a year kind of like to make the decision. For me, it was very similar. Like it was something that it was like growing on me and trying to deal with it until I was like, yeah, I gotta do it. I think in the end of the day is also about like I gotta try. I gotta try. I gotta put myself out there and really try. Even from like applying for a job that maybe doesn't, you don't click everything, but like, yeah, let me try. Maybe finding somebody in the industry to talk, to learn from. And what I also know from from life is that it's not linear, right? So it's not like I'm gonna take this step and then this step and then this step. So I'm always going, let's say, forward or upper to that decision. I think there are decisions that we make that, well, it might be maybe a step back or a step to the side, but always focusing on the end goal. I think, yeah, I cannot necessarily see a clear path like as of now, but it's trying. I think it's trying. It's like, as you said, like from the masters is like saying yes to whatever we can, because also the opportunities like they can even present themselves to us, as you said, like in the Spartan race. Do you need something? But because you were there, so I think this is how I see it. Like I know I'm gonna make mistakes. I know that maybe I'll accept something that maybe I shouldn't, but I will only know if I do it. So yeah, that's how I.
And you learn from those mistakes.
Yeah,
That's
for
the
sure.
biggest part of it all. Because sometimes,
Definitely.
like, okay, it was not the right choice, but what did I take from it? So,
Yeah, I think I'll draw a lot from what you have said, from what you said when you first came to the university, and also second, a lot of what Rafa is saying. I would say yes to almost everything. I would stay curious. I will be open minded. I mean, of course, there is a path that I have thought of, but if we keep our eyes and ears open, there may be some opportunities that we may otherwise miss if we only go with a
of course.
single minded focus. So I will definitely try and go outside of my comfort zone, and which I think I am already doing in a way. I mean, I think I am the eldest in the batch, and at times I do feel a bit weird, but it's okay. I mean, uh, I'll be me, right? Let world be what it is, but I have to do what I have to do. So there is a path. At least there is a path. There is a goal, and we need to just keep walking. I think this is one of my best quotes. Keep walking.
I love that.
Keep moving on the path, and you will get there.
I love that. It's amazing.
All right. I think we're towards the end to close it up. So first of all, thank you so much, Maria, for your time and to bear with us like in this first episode.
It was a pleasure.
I think I really enjoy myself, and I hope that everyone here and whoever is watching and listening as well. And I think just to close it up, we're in a World Cup year. Who's gonna win it?
I wish it was Portugal. I don't think it is. I think it's either France or Spain.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so then I think that's it. Thank you, everyone. Keep tuned, follow us, and there's going to be a lot more content as well.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maria, so much. All
Thank
the
you,
best
guys.
to you with all your future endeavors, your ticketing project, and the Benfica wish. All the best to you.
Thank you so
And
much.
Keep inspiring, and hope to get you on the podcast again sometime in the future.
Hope to see you in the industry in a couple of months.
Fingers crossed.
You go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.